It's the 14th today, 14th of December. Let's have a look, see what reading we've got today. Oh, here we go. All right, Luke chapter 1, verses 18 to 25 and 57 to 66. Quite another long passage, so let's get straight to that. So we're picking up in the middle of the account of after the angel Gabriel had appeared to Zechariah in the temple. Zechariah asked the angel, "How can I be sure of this?" Remember, he'd just been promised that he and Elizabeth would have a son. "I'm an old man and my wife is well on in years." The angel answered, "I am Gabriel and I stand in the presence of God, and I have been sent to speak to you and to tell you this good news. And now you will be silent and not able to speak until the day this happens, because you did not believe my words, which will come true at their proper time." Meanwhile, the people were waiting for Zechariah and wondering why he stayed so long in the temple. When he came out, he could not speak to them. They realized he had seen a vision in the temple, for he kept making signs to them, but remained unable to speak. When his time of service was completed, he returned home. After this, his wife Elizabeth became pregnant, and for 5 months remained in seclusion. "The Lord has done this for me," she said. "In these days he has shown his favour and taken away my disgrace among the people." Well, now jumping to verse 57, so 9 months later at least. When it was time for Elizabeth to have her baby, she gave birth to a son. Her neighbours and relatives heard that the Lord had shown her great mercy, and they shared her joy. On the 8th day they came to circumcise the child, and they were going to name him after his father Zechariah. But his mother spoke up and said, "No, he's to be called John." They said to her, "There's no one among your relatives who has that name." Then they made signs to his father to find out what he would like to name the child. He asked for a writing tablet, and to everyone's astonishment he wrote, "His name is John." Immediately his mouth was opened and his tongue was loosed, and he began to speak, praising God. The neighbours were all filled with awe, and throughout the hill country of Judea, people were talking about all these things. Everyone who heard this wondered about it, asking, "What then is this child going to be?" For the Lord's hand was with him. Well, that started off, didn't it? A bit sad. Zechariah didn't believe the angel's words, and so he wasn't able to speak or hear, it seems, from verse 62, and they make signs to him. So it seems that he couldn't hear or speak until the child was born. But of course we should note Zechariah's unbelief didn't stop the angel's words from coming true and from being true. And that's still true today, of course. There are many people who don't believe what's in the Bible. They don't believe God's words. But that doesn't stop them from being true. Well, God kept his promise, you see, and John was born. And as soon as Zechariah confirmed that the boy's God-given name, yes, was John, which means the Lord is a gracious giver, then he could speak again. And what was the first thing he did? Let me read that verse again, verse 64. "Immediately his mouth was opened and his tongue was loosed, and he began to speak, praising God." That was the first thing he did. Isn't that wonderful? And you can sense the excitement as well among all the people who heard about it. Everyone who heard this wondered about it, asking, "What then is this child going to be?" For the Lord's hand was with him. Well, I have a feeling we might learn more about the answer to that question tomorrow, so do come back then.